It's the largest closing of a nuclear plant in the United States, and it's right in our backyard.
The most critical and dangerous part of the process at Zion is underway right now with the transfer of used nuclear fuel. Jim Williams is the only local television reporter allowed inside to see firsthand what's going on and to get answers to concerns about safety in this original report.
So right now you're at .04.
For us, it was a first. An interview right next to a worker holding a radiation detector.
Okay, and you're making sure that we're safe.
Correct. So right now, practically nothing.
You have to be this careful when crews are moving 1,500 tons of nuclear waste out of the old Zion ComEd plant on the shores of Lake Michigan.
The idea is to decontaminate, clean, remove.
John Sauger is managing the biggest closure of a nuclear plant in U.S. history.
So these are brand new.
Yep.
The plant stopped operating 16 years ago, but what was left behind is so toxic, robots were brought in.
You want to get it out quick, and you want to use equipment to do it. You don't want to have men in there using hand tools and torches.
By train and truck, they're shipping the less hazardous material to Texas, Tennessee, and Utah, where it'll be buried.
We have filters, rags, mops, things of that nature that have been in contact with radiated material and might be contaminated.
But spent nuclear fuel that had been in this cooling pool is being placed in steel cylinders called casks.
Each can has a custom-made cover. You can see they're rather robust.
Then encased in concrete.
We call this the nuclear bowling alley.
Because, says Dave Kraft of a nuclear watchdog group, all 65 casks will end up here, together, above ground, next to the old plant. Kraft fears they could be a prime target for terrorists in a plane.
If you have a huge fuel fire from a burning airliner, for example, it's going to affect everything around.
Kraft and Paul Koukouris of the Dunelands Preservation Society worry that casks could break open, releasing radiation across the Chicago area, poisoning the lake.
We are at risk here. This is the water supply for 20 million people.
Those fears are not justified, according to John Sauger.
What happens if a plane were to crash over there?
If it's a big enough airplane, one of the engines may penetrate the concrete, but not the steel liner.
Today, the casks are surrounded by high fences and razor wire. Heavily armed security guards are everywhere here. Still, those measures are not enough to allay fears.
The point is, you're only going to get one chance to be wrong.
Another safety concern, how will those steel and concrete casks hold up over time before a permanent storage site is created? The Nuclear Regulatory Commission expects them to be replaced in 100 years, but environmentalists fear those casks may wind up sitting there next to Lake Michigan for much longer than that. Bob and Kate?
You can understand the fear. It all seems very precarious. How strong are those cylinders and how long will they last?
Each one 150 tons, said to be able to withstand 360-mile-an-hour winds, missiles, fires, earthquakes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.